You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trans writer makes explosive allegations against Lindsey Graham, based on an article by Nicole Charmy.
The senator who policed queer life while living in its shadow.
The public record is the point. The source story is built around a viral allegation from transgender author Jesse James Rose that Lindsey Graham, long known for anti-LGBTQ+ politics, once hired him for sex work. That allegation is not the main political fact here.
Graham's public record is he spent years voting against marriage equality, workplace protections, repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and gender-affirming care, while presenting himself as a reliable enemy of queer rights.
Power sat in the Senate, not the rumor mill.
The person with actual institutional power was Graham. He was not a victim of gossip. He was a federal lawmaker helping decide whose dignity counted in law.
The people harmed by his votes were LGBTQ+ workers, transgender people seeking care, and service members forced into concealment. That is the governing act. Everything else is side-channel noise unless it is tied back to the machinery of power.
The framing wants you looking elsewhere.
The article's hook is salacious because salaciousness sells better than accountability. That is the misdirection.
It invites readers to stare at Graham's alleged private contradictions instead of the concrete public damage he helped author. If a politician spends years denouncing a group in public while allegedly consuming what he condemns in private, the political story is not a secret appetite. It is the cruelty of using state power to punish the very people from whom he may have been privately taking pleasure or profit. Hypocrisy is not the whole crime.
Hypocrisy is often treated as the scandal, because hypocrisy is easy to narrate. But hypocrisy is also a cover for something uglier: the deliberate separation of private indulgence from public punishment. That split is how a politician gets to enjoy the existence of queer people while voting to make their lives harder. The source notes that rumors about Graham's sexuality followed him for years.
Fine.
Rumor is not evidence.
But the public record of his anti-LGBTQ+ politics is evidence, and it matters more than any gossip about his bedroom.
Queer bodies are not the joke. There's a predictable risk in stories like this: the queer person becomes the spectacle, and the powerful man becomes the punchline or the tragic paradox. That dynamic is lazy.
It turns a trans writer's allegation into a gossip relay while muting the basic fact that Graham used his office to push exclusion and stigma.
If the political class can publicly exploit queer people, then privately consume their labor, desire, and secrecy, the problem is not inconsistency. It is predation wrapped in respectability. The larger pattern. This is what reactionary politics looks like when stripped of the sermon public cruelty, private exemption. The Republican right has long depended on lawmakers who perform moral panic for voters while living by a more permissive private code. That arrangement is not a personal flaw in one senator. It is a system that rewards men for branding themselves as defenders of order while voting to police other people's lives.
The lesson is not that hypocrisy exists.
The lesson is that hypocrisy is often the operating system of authoritarian politics.
You've been listening to Systemic Error.
Thanks to Raw Story for today's article.
With the automated voice of Kristen. Thanks for listening.